Grace and peace, and spoiler alert for Project Power. My name's Ryan. I'm the movie pastor. I watch movies and I think theologically about them. So whenever I see a movie, I'm asking questions about Christ, about morality, about deeper meaning. I'm trying to drill down deeply into the underlying subjects behind all of the media we all experience and enjoy. So for Project Power, the subject is drug abuse. And that's a subject that's really close to me personally. My dad spent the majority of his life and his career in ministry dealing with drug addiction and recovery as a pastor. A lot of people who struggle with addiction struggle with it in a theological way and use theological tools to help them. So it's worth engaging in stories about what drugs look like, why drugs work the way they do, how they function, especially for people like me who've never engaged with drugs or been addicted to substances like that, to appreciate these kinds of stories. So Project Power engages in a vast allegory. It deals with a street drug that gives people superpowers, and as a result of that, creates superpowers that function in similar ways to the way drug habits function in the inner city. So in this movie, superpowers become a way to perform, a way to economically develop, and a way to cope with the difficulties of life. Also, for some people, superpowers are fatal. So there are three main characters in the film. Jamie Foxx's character experimented with superpowers in his youth, but now doesn't use them, and he's trying to save his daughter, who's now getting embroiled in superpower experimentation. His power is explosive in nature, and as a result of that, her power is to become a healer. Make of that what you will. The second person in the narrative is Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, and he sits in a gray territory. He mixes catching criminals with doing superpowers. He believes that if the cops are going to survive, they're going to need some superpowers themselves, and his power is invulnerability, or perhaps immunity, maybe qualified immunity. Once again, you do the work, fill in the white spaces. Finally, we've got Dominique Fishback's character, who, although from the streets and dealing pills, does not partake in the superpowers. She's too scared of what it will do. And over the course of the plot, she learns that her true superpower is her ability to rap. A power that, in closing, she calls her word. My word is my power. What's this mean? When you grow up in poverty, when you grow up in difficult surroundings or around tragedy, I think what this movie would say, and what I will say emphatically, is that you have a choice. It might not feel like you have a choice, but you have a choice. You can choose crime and drugs and violence. And we can have sympathy on the people who choose that, who feel like it's their only option, because that has some actual utility for people in those circumstances. The people who choose drugs and crime and violence do it because that works for them. It does something for them, because they need it, because crime is a way to get by, drugs are a way to tolerate the day, violence is a way to increase power. But you can also choose art. You can also choose excellence. You can learn to rise above. You can be like Dominique Fishback's character. You can rap. So the same tired advice that used to go around about getting high on life or high on Jesus has been transformed in an era of Marvel movies to that's your superpower. What's your superpower? What's your ability, your gift to the world, the alternative? The commercials when I was growing up were your anti-drug. Think about it, because you have one. You were created with one. My prayer for you is that you would learn to use it.